It's time to purge the alien. Come take a closer look inside the box as we unbox all the new Deathwatch releases for this week. Spiky bits. Make sure you stay in the trenches by becoming a supporter over on Patreon and also scoring yourself some free miniature swag in the process. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out our site, spikybits.com, for all the hot hobby tutorials, news, rumors on all your favorite hobby topics. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today. All right, so it's Deathwatch time, and this is a really interesting release. It's kind of an interesting release, I guess, in the fact that they're giving us more for a buck. Like, I mean, people are always like, "Hey, GW, lower your price," and they're not going to lower their prices, let's be obvious. But they're going to give us great bundle deals, which a lot of us has taken advantage of over the past couple of months. But now we're seeing some aggressive pricing on more standardized bundle type deals, plus kind of like some surprises as well for next week's kind of price structure. So I like this new direction in Games Workshop. So let's take a closer look at all this stuff. So obviously all of this is branded Deathwatch. It all comes with a special Deathwatch upgrade sprue, right? That's in each one of these with a little instruction manual on basically how to apply it to each type of model, kind of type deal. Now, as far as pricing goes, everything's priced pretty decently. You know, like, I've never used the term, "Hey, this is only XYZ price" before for Games Workshop, but I feel like we're going to hear a lot of that in the next couple of weeks talking about these new Deathwatch releases, which is, it's a pleasant surprise. And I just can't remember a time like this in recent memory. So kudos to Games Workshop for giving us these I guess aggressive pricing bundle kind of savings, I guess. I don't know how to address it. Either way, I like it and thank you. So this is the transport model, and then now we all thought this was going to be the Dark Star or whatever, or the Black Star, but it turns out it's just a normal Rhino Razorback. When I say normal Rhino Razorback, it still comes with upgrade sprue. It's priced at $42, which, you know, you basically throw the Rhino Razorback sprue in there, which normally used to cost $15-20 from Games Workshop, and you price out a Rhino, now you're at $50, not counting the Deathwatch sprue in here. So I feel like, again, it's aggressively priced, and I have no beef with it whatsoever. Now on the back, you know, they've got some great Deathwatch, you know, tips and tricks for how to paint these bad boys, because actually painting black is a little difficult, to be quite honest. And I really like their palette here. You know, if you take a closer look, the reds are this kind of like darker red, the corn red. They don't take it all the way up past Wazdaka, which I'm digging. You know, they kind of stay away from the Mephiston and the Evil Suns, and they save that kind of for the very tips or like the highlights on the viewports, right? But another thing to mention that some of you might not realize as you go up to the store to pick up your paints, the recipe for the edging, which, remember, black is hard to shade. You kind of have to use grays, but they're kind of going with the blue palette here, and they're using Thunderhawk blue and Fenrisian gray, which are kind of like an in-between kind of old shadow gray and old wolf gray here, but this just has more of a teal blue off the Baharoth blue kind of palette. Now, Baharoth blue, as I've recently discovered painting the Stonehorns, is a edge paint, and generally most stores don't stock it. You have to order it from Games Workshop, or you have to go up to a GW store, which generally it's also special order. So they might have one on the shelf, which was the case where I tried to purchase one from my local GW store. I called up, I said, "Hey, do you have one?" They're like, "We just sold it, we only stock one," and then we reorder. Now granted, stores are different everywhere in the world, so if you have a bigger metropolitan store, they might carry it. But your little, you know, local game stores, your FLGSs probably are not going to stock that edge paint. They're probably not going to stock this Thunderhawk blue as well. That was actually discontinued. I think in the last batch of, I want to say in November, they discontinued a bunch of paints out of the rack. Now some stores picked up the new rack edition that picks up some of the airbrush colors and some of the edge colors. That was that big thing, like, "Oh, a new paint range is coming this year or this month," and well, no, it turns out they just call it the 300 paint range, not 300 new paints are coming. They just added some of the existing paints to the existing rack and discontinued some. In some cases, they just put in a new shelf, but not every store got that, because I think it booked out to like $2,000. And, you know, in August, a lot of stores don't have that kind of money to put out for, you know, a new product when there's Magic cards and obviously more Deathwatch. Anyways, I just wanted you guys to be aware of that because I recently had that same problem with the same two colors because that's also on the color palette for the Ogres. So I had to track these paints down, and I was just like grinding my teeth trying to find them. And finally, I just ordered a bottle of each from Games Workshop directly, along with my preview for the, my new White Dwarf subscription as well. So hopefully we'll see that in a couple weeks. Now I like this little paint scheme up here too for their metals. They're kind of going with a different kind of metal here. That's pretty fresh. And remember, you're kind of going to add in a little bit of blue shade to all your Deathwatch stuff. So let's actually unbox these things because it's been like 5 minutes of talking, but I didn't want you guys to get, you know, to get all hot and heavy and ready to paint this stuff, and then you couldn't get the paints that you wanted. So here it is, nothing new here. We got a Rhino or a Razorback, or excuse me, the Rhino kit, which we've seen this for the past 15 years or so. And then we've got the Razorback upgrade, which is boom. But more importantly, we've got the upgrade sprue, which we saw in the past, and we weren't sure if this was going to be sold separately. It doesn't look like it's going to be sold separately, but let's be honest. If you're picking up, you know, a vehicle, and basically all of those releases that I just show you come with one of these, except for the Kill Team, the Cassius Kill Team, because, you know, that's from the Overkill box set. They all come with one of these, so you're not going to need these shoulder pads for a vehicle. So you can find somebody that's picking up a Deathwatch army and maybe score one of these things. That's not to say they won't put this out for 20, you know, the upgrade sprue price that they did when the Marines came out. I think it was like 15, 18 bucks, 20 bucks, I forget. But, you know, again, it's a great sprue, but it's got these little icons that you can use, that you can put, you know, on your transports. But it also has the two Terminator shoulder pads, more importantly, two upgrade heads, a Gladius, and then all of those right there. At first I thought these were regular like Chaplain upgrades, but they're character upgrades, but they're actually Terminator pads. There is another Terminator pad available out there, Terminator-wise, but it's hard to find. Oh, and I wanted to show you this too, because this comes with all the kits. This is basically the little upgrade pamphlet that shows you, hey, you put this on Flap, you put this on Terminators, and you put this on Marines, also the Gladius, the upgrade icon, little doodad right there, and the chest plate. And then on the back, they show you more specifically, using the CAD, how that all works right there. Boom, 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 boom. So now, for $42, I feel like this is a great deal, because you get both kits. You also get the upgrade sprue seemingly for free. So I like free. Free is good, right? I feel like that is never a problem whatsoever. Now, next up is the Deathwatch Captain, and I'm not actually going to open it because, again, all of this product here always goes out to our Patreon. So I don't want to, like, I mean, we know what this guy looks like. I have unboxed this in multiple formats, starting with the Strike Force Ultra. I want to say 2 years ago, summer. He also comes in the Start Collecting box now, but now he's on his own, all by himself. And he also comes with the Deathwatch upgrade sprue right there. So that's really neat to see it for $25. $25. I thought this was going to be a $40 mini all day. This thing is $25. And it comes with an upgrade sprue that would normally go for $15 each. Like, I have never said only when it comes to Games Workshop pricing, ever, in the history of ever. I take that back. I might have said it at one point. But anyways, I'm really impressed with their pricing on this new release. Next up is the Deathwatch Captain, which again is another rebox. Okay, no big deal. It's the Captain we've all come to know and love. You know, it's been around since 2005. You know, he's got all the great accessories in here, from the cape to the plasma pistol with a targeter. He's got the combi weapons. You know, we used to cut down millions of these things for back when I was running the bit services, you know, selling these for like 10, 15 bucks a pop. Now, the game isn't quite what it used to be, and I'm not even sure what the pricing on something like that would even go for these days. But that being said, this is an incredible deal for $25, I feel like, because you get that upgrade sprue as well. And it's just, I mean, it's just as cool as that Terminator guy, except you get way more bits, right? You get all the combis, like I said, you get this dope cape, you get the dope Eagle backpack. There is actually a Deathwatch pad on here as well, or an Inquisition pad, which I guess it's not specifically to Deathwatch, but I almost feel like they didn't even need to put this in here because you don't put one on each side, but you do get the dope helmets and the Gladius right there too. So again, another great deal from Games Workshop. It also comes with that little pamphlet, the little upgrade pamphlet as well, to kind of show you, hey, this is where it goes. Don't put the Terminator pad on the power armor guy, right? Deathwatch Kill Team Cassius. Another great deal from Games Workshop, $65 for the 11 dudes that we saw in the Deathwatch Overkill box for $165, $100 more. Now, granted, you get a game and you get a bunch of gene stealers, but let's face it, at the end of the day, I think a lot of us bought that game for these guys right here, which would all sell for at least 20, 30 bucks individually if Games Workshop ever put them in that clan pack format, I feel like. So, especially this guy right here, the frag cannon, because everybody and their mom's going to be running the frag cannon now, you know what I mean? So this is an incredible value. Like, I saw it and I saw what it was and I was like, well, they're doing something. They're up to something. I love it. It's great. It's a really exciting time for the hobby. It's fantastic. Here is the close-up of all the dudes right there. Like I said, there's 11 dudes in here. And it's literally just the same spruce. They didn't even recut them in like a clan pack format or nothing like that. You've got a couple of the little bases there for the servo skull and the teleport homer. Then you've got, now I forget what size base that is. That's the new bike base. Now let's see. I got some Elric's hobby stuff here. For my Ogors, and this actually is bigger, so that's that smaller size base. It doesn't say on the box. Wow, I actually don't know what size that is because there's a little mount size. I know there is a smaller size than that. I feel like that is, I want to say that's 75, or that might be the 90. I feel like that's the 90 because that almost looks like, here's 40, right? So that's 50. Oh, that's 40. Yeah, so that's easily 90 by 55, I believe. So this one here is probably a lot smaller because it's almost 40. I could almost say that's safely a 45 by 70 something. Well, either way, I'm sure somebody will leave it in the comments exactly what size that is because all the new bikes actually come with that size base as well. So here it is. You get all the bases that you need. And like I said, just the normal sprues that come right in the Deathwatch Overkill box, which is a fantastic value, by the way, now that they're coming in this format. So, I mean, there they are right there. All the sprues, all the bases, your instruction manual, which also comes with all the fantastic data sheets from that whole set, as well as each individual ones right there. So that's really neat to see. I mean, I think for 65 bucks, if you're super serious about playing Deathwatch and doing some of those kill team formations where you get like one biker and you get like one Terminator, if this is the loadout you want to go with, you know, maybe you don't want to go with the assault cannon cyclone launcher or something like that, then I feel like this is the way to go right here. You pick up one of these, some veterans, which look to be $35 for a box set, and you're off to the races. And next up is the Deathwatch Bikers. Again, a great deal from Games Workshop. Only $60. And I say only $60, and here's why. The normal 3-pack of Bikers is $41 or $42 on GW site right now, right? You add in 2 extra Bikers, that's only like 10 bucks each. Plus you're getting a Deathwatch upgrade sprue for $60. Like, I feel like that's an incredible deal. I don't know why, you know, normally these are like roughly 15. They're a little bit less because they box them in that set. But then again, you know, by math, you're looking at least $70, not counting the Deathwatch accessory sprue. So on the back, they show you, you know, they're basically 3 of the same bike. You have to use the upgrade sprue to basically do anything cool, which you got a couple of icons you can throw in there. Again, the same paint palette. You know, watch out for your Thunderhawk blues and your Balrog blues because that paint might be a little hard for you to find. Now, this is a precedent right here because we haven't seen this before. We saw it with the Deathwatch Overkill, but the bikes weren't coming with this base until today because we haven't had a re-release of any of the new box sets, the Space Marine Bikers or anything like that. So this technically is the first re-release of the Bikers, and now we have that precedent set. So this is the second time they've changed the bike base. We went from cavalry bases with the square ones to the pill is what they call them, which was basically a 25mm base cut in half and put on each end. You know, so you went from a 40 to basically 25, so it was 65 long. Now, I can tell you right here, this is that same size we were talking about just a minute ago. I don't know exactly what size it is, but I'm sure it's listed on Games Workshop's site. You know, if you're looking to upgrade all your bikes, they have the Imperialis upgrade box that comes with these, as well as, you know, all the resin makers out there, like we were talking about Elrix. You got Secret Weapon Minis, Dragon Forge, you know, Micro Art Studios, all sorts of folks out there. So you get 5 of these. Boom, boom, boom. And I have noticed that some of the studios out there don't have some of the newer sizes. Elrix does have all the sizes, pretty much from A to Z. I don't, like I said in my Chaos unboxing video, I don't know what half those sizes are for, but they're all there, and it's good to know that they have that variety, because anytime you open up a box and you see a new size base, you're like just scratching your head like, well, all right then. Touche, Games Workshop. So there's all that. You get a decal sheet and all that, so no big deal there. And the little pamphlet on how to, where to place those little icons on the backs of the bikes right here. So coming up on our last box set, unfortunately, it is not the least, because another great deal from Games Workshop. This one is only $80. Now, I say only $80 because traditionally in the past, Land Raiders, well, the past they were $50, but lately they're $75, right? This is $80, and it comes with all the variants of the Land Raider. You get the Godhammer pattern, you get the Crusader, and you get the Redeemer, which basically means it has an extra sprue in here with the Godhammer las cannons, which normally they're not sold separately. If you buy the upgrade sprue, 20-30 bucks again. I'm not even sure if GW sells it. I'm just going off my old dated prices from back in the day. So, that being said, I think for $5 more, getting a Deathwatch upgrade sprue and the Godhammer las cannons, when still on their site, they list all three of these at $75. Well, this is its own kit. They do list them separately, but this is one kit, this is one kit, at $75 each. I think it's a value, because you just throw in a couple magnets and you're good to go, right? So again, same color palette on the back. The Thunderhawk blue, the Fenrisian gray, which I think is very striking and looks great. I like this little line thing they did right here. It's pretty dope. Pretty fresh looking. Now, if you open it up, this is kind of the format. We used to see this like kind of like this clamshell, like kind of like top and bottom kind of separate thing, but now we got this like pull-out tray. It's kind of all about, they call it the Ubi, the out-of-box experience, and that's, I think, what they want to do. They want to build up for it, like, ooh, let me slide this tray out and look at my new mini. So again, we've got the upgrade sprue. Nothing new there. And then, of course, all the sweet Land Raider, dated 2000 actually. I think it's actually dated 1990. Yeah, 1999. So, and then you've got the upgrades from 2005, I want to say, for that right there. So basically, everything new. But I just wanted to show you that it actually does come with all those parts I said, because here is the last cannon upgrade sprue, and you just saw the Flamestorm cannon. There's the rest of it right here, and you get the Deathwatch upgrade little pamphlet. You get the instructions for the Redeemer Crusader and the Godhammer right there. So everything's in here. It's all sorted. It is what I say it is, and it is what Games Workshop says it is. Again, I think an incredible value. Now, something to keep in mind too, if you're looking to really go deep into Deathwatch, those kill team formations you cannot, that require you to take a jump pack or require you to take a bike. A lot of cases they won't fit in the Land Raider, but they will fit in the Corvus Blackstar, because it specifically says that you can take them. So Land Raiders might not be the solution for everything in Deathwatch, unless you're just going balls deep with some Terminator squads or something like that. So just kind of keep that in mind, that some of those things do not work with this. But remember, you can't always take a dedicated transport. Oh, and remember too, some of them take more than one spot. If they're bulky, you can only have a squad of 10. The Corvus Darkstar holds 12. So just kind of keep all that stuff in mind right there if you're building a new Deathwatch army, which a lot of people might. So I feel like that's a good release lineup. We're looking at another great 8 releases coming out next week for the Deathwatch. So stay tuned and to the channel, because we're going to go over this brand new Deathwatch paint guide next.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.